Early in 2020, From Here On supported a group of entrepreneurs who were looking to bolster the healthcare system by providing hospital beds in hotels. This presentation will demonstrate the power of the business design method to deploy this type of solution, but it will also illustrate how it can be applied in other circumstances such as a scale-up or in a large-scale transformation. Let's get started. From Here On's business design method covers a number of discrete design activities that helps an organisation to rethink how it works to deliver value to its customers. It's equally applicable in a startup context, in a scale-up context, or in an organisational transformation and modernisation program. In the HospiTel case, firstly we're going to look at a strategy on a page. Strategy on a page actually comes from another architectural document called a business motivation model. And the objective of the strategy on the page is to provide a very concise view of the core considerations for a business in any decision making. You have the influences, vision and mission, the goals, the strategies, tactics and objectives. And from this view, we can make clear decisions about what's in the best interest of the business. In the HospiTel case study, a critical aspect here was bringing together three distinct disciplines. Between those three skill sets, we needed to look at what the requirements would be to deliver an effective service to patients and hospitals in a hotel outside of the walls of the hospital using care providers at a level that would satisfy the hospital needs and the patient experience. In this case, with the customer journey map, we can see a number of different parties involved in delivering the service over here in the partners section, and we can see their key roles in the service journey. We also can see a number of service components and service features that need to be delivered across the touch points of the patient journey to deliver the service. In this particular case, at the very early stages, we sketched out a view of that patient journey and we iterated that process through various design research activities to understand what would be required in terms of services to be orchestrated to deliver the patient value proposition and the value proposition to hospitals. As that was iterated over time, we were able to distill and refine that into a concise statement of the service portfolio, which is essentially like the menu in a restaurant. This is what's on offer. And you can see down on the bottom left the patient cohorts and the service outcomes that are to be delivered. A critical part of this process is prototyping. And we found in this particular case study, it made a lot of sense to create a video that would articulate the value proposition and the process and the offer for what this concept was all about. The other benefit of taking this approach was that it forced us to better understand the handover points between different stages of the process on the patient journey, determine whether or not the assumptions that were made were accurate, and to also fill in the gaps. Ultimately, we produced a clear, concise statement of, in this case, a brochure of the offering that could be communicated to the various stakeholders of the proposition. Two key deliverables in the business design process are a view of the operating model, essentially how do we deliver the services, and the service model, which provides a more detailed view of all the services that need to come together that will deliver on that value proposition. The dialogue between the service model and the operating model provide the opportunity for optimization in the business and also to understand the scale-out challenges in terms of investment and capability and service readiness as we go through various milestones in the growth of the business. In the operating model example, you can see the organisation structure, you can see the patient journey and value chain, you see core capabilities and enabling capabilities so we can understand what is strategic and what needs to be invested in, what could be commoditised, considered commodity and outsourced. What are the inputs on the left in terms of resources, partners and suppliers? Who are the beneficiaries of that on the right, the services to clients and customers? What's the performance framework around workforce, financial and customer? The operating principles for the operating model? And essentially, how do the bits of the jigsaw come together to deliver the platform of the organisation that actually enables those services? In this case, you can see there are three core providers in purple, yellow and blue, and you can see how they fit together along that journey to deliver those services and to deliver that value proposition. During this project, we ran several concurrent streams in an agile way, and one of those streams was in branding. where we looked at, we drew from the purpose and the vision of the business, and we tested with the market and started to create a narrative that we could bring to market with essentially the brand anatomy and the story, the DNA, the voice, and the positioning of the concept. Additionally, as part of the architecture, we were looking at the application environment. We looked at the information architecture and how information would need to move through those systems to deliver this outcome as part of the broader architecture. And essentially, we created an enterprise architecture stack across business data, applications, and technology, which helped us to understand what the technology investment and capability and service requirements would be over time as we scale the concept. Similarly, we looked at opportunities for innovation in analytics and machine learning and AI. And ultimately, all of this came together in an executive summary for various stakeholders. In this case, this was for the hotel partnership, but we also did an executive summary for investors to assist in articulating what the concept was all about and how it all comes together. All of these deliverables in the business design process met certain requirements to answer certain questions that different stakeholders needed along that journey. It all comes together across this view of the business design method, where essentially we have the purpose design, which is really about connecting with the vision and the energy and the passion and the focus for what it is that we're all trying to achieve. The value model, the brand promise, who are we in service of, what's our value proposition to them, and how does that exist within the ecosystem. Business model, how do we configure our organisation to deliver value. Service model, what are the jobs we do for our customers in service of that brand promise. Operating model, where do we spend money, what do we build to enable those jobs to be done. And then the transitioning around resource portfolio design and transition design. And that, in short form, is a business design process.